he shouted, "Help! Is anybody up there?" And a majestic voice boomed through the gorge. Notice that view of God now, okay? "I will help you, my son, but first you must have faith. You must truly know all is well." Okay, I do, I do, I trust, cried the man. "Then let go of the branch," boomed the voice. And there was a long pause, and the man shouted up again, "Is there anybody else up there I can talk to?" Well, can we relate to that? Oh, well, good morning again. How sweet it is to be here. And I want you to know that we are live streaming. Did you know that we're live streaming? So, hi out there, everyone. We're so glad to welcome you into our living room this morning. And I really want to acknowledge Keith and Carrie Mounts for their contribution to this unfolding. Thank you so much. And so in this conversation about live streaming, Keith and I have been talking, and yes, some of us are being pulled into the 21st century. And we're also looking at what we already have archived. And so some of the talks that we have archived, I'm like, oh, Keith, wouldn't it be great, if we can just put some titles on that? I had someone come up to me and say, could we put titles on those messages? So if I'm working with something in my life, let me go back and reflect on that. I thought, what a great idea. And so Keith, of course, in his wisdom and savvy, said, oh, sure. And so in that process, Keith said, would you send me your talk titles? So gosh, I got to go back over, since March, since I've been here. And I was looking at my talk titles. And what came to me was the realization that every single time I stand up here and talk with you and just share something from my heart, it's all about a tool. It's about a tool that I've learned on this journey of practical spirituality, which is what unity is, right? It's practical. The Phil Moores, our co-founders, wanted to create a spiritual path that was practical, that we could use every day, that would support us in knowing more clearly what we are and what we're capable of being and doing and expressing. So, guess what? Today's another tool. And this tool, I feel like, is just one of those really meaty, foundational ones that I feel like in every single talk, I've talked about wholehearted engagement, I've talked about seeing through the eyes of love, gratitude, daring greatly, saying yes to life, in the flow of life, as the healing stream, as the flow of abundance, there it goes, that underneath all those tools that I've shared is this tool. Drum roll. What is the tool?
Hang on.
Wow. Wow. Okay, the tool is living in the present moment. Awareness. And I feel a little pressure because our guru, Peter Adams, is in the audience, who teaches present moment awareness every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I'm putting a plug in, Peter. And I came to his class one Wednesday night, and wow, was it ever. It was so powerful just to shift off the busyness of my day and just to center in my awareness of this moment. So, present moment awareness, also called mindfulness. And to me, what a result is, for me in my life, is when I am able to be fully present in this moment, through being very mindful, it results in a centered knowing for me. You know, our center is that reference point within us. It's that balance point. And some people feel it here in their solar plexus. Some people feel it here in their heart. You know when you're centered. Because when we're centered, we're in alignment with what's true. And what comes with that is an experience, at least for me, of feeling really peaceful and in my wisdom and truly my knowing of what is mine to do. And so mindfulness, as we just experienced in our meditation time, is when we focus our attention moment to moment to moment on our thoughts, on our feelings, on our bodily sensations, and our environment, such that we're just so present. We're so awake and so alert. I just love the word conscious. We're conscious. Because see, when we're in that space of present moment awareness, what's available to us on our journey is that we can make conscious choices about how we want to respond. And I tell you, folks, I know I've said this before, but I always get to practice what I'm preaching, because this morning I'm driving to Unity of Gaithersburg, and I allow a lot of time to get here on Sunday morning, because I don't know if you know this, I drive from Centerville, Virginia here. It's about 35 miles. And so I put on my NRIX this morning, and it said green. That means go. It's all good. And I am driving down 66, and all of a sudden, for as far as I can see, stopped. And I look up, and I see accident. And of course, I'm in between exits. And I call Cynthia, and I say, Cynthia, I'm breathing. Ask Edie to pray. Gather everybody. I know the support's here. I'll be there. And I thought, what an opportunity for me to know what I know is true. Lordy be. And I noticed when I got here, because I just kept breathing and I kept remembering, breathe. Focus your attention. Notice what you're feeling. Because the opportunity is for us to notice what we're thinking and what we're feeling without judgment, to accept it for what it is. And if you have a judgment, notice that too. It's okay. That's one of the beautiful things about present moment awareness, is that it's all about accepting what is. And that includes ourselves and where we are. So present moment awareness and mindfulness has a lot of benefits. In my previous life, before I went to ministerial school, I was a life coach. And I had a practice over in Tyson's Corner. And I would sometimes go into companies and teach meditation. And I can't tell you how fun it was to go into a corporation whose primary clients were the Department of Defense, and we're oming. It was awesome. Sending them blessings. And so when I would teach meditation, I would share some scientific research about, gosh, you know, when you meditate, because meditation is a practice of mindfulness, focusing our attention in a particular way. Charles Fillmore called meditation conscious thinking. So when we're meditating and we're calling forth mindfulness, and we do that as a practice in our life, gosh, we sleep better. It's been known to lower blood pressure, to bring us more peace. Well, I got to tell you, folks, I went perusing on the internet, and I found some more scientific research about the benefits of this. And I just want to share it with you, because I just think it's so neat. All right, so it literally lowers stress. You might feel less stressed when you're meditating and calling forth mindfulness, but it also actually lowers the hormone cortisol that causes stress in your body. Researchers from the University of California in Santa Barbara found that college students who were trained in mindfulness performed better on the verbal reasoning section of the GRE and also experienced improvements in their working memory. Did you know that the U.S. Marine Corps is in the process of seeing how mindfulness meditation training can improve troops' performance and ability to handle and recover from stress? How cool is that? Mindfulness meditation could lessen the not too pleasant effects of colds. Researchers from the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Health found that people who practice mindfulness miss fewer days of work due to acute respiratory infections and also experienced a shortened duration and severity of symptoms. Researchers from the University of California, Los Angeles, found that mindfulness helped to decrease feelings of loneliness among the elderly and boost their health by reducing inflammation. Research from the University of Rochester Medical Center shows that doctors who are trained in mindfulness are less judgmental, more self-aware, and better listeners when it comes to connecting with their patients. And last but not least, it lowers depression in teens. It helps weight loss goals be accomplished, and again, helps us sleep better. Wow! Isn't that great? That's some good stuff. So that's how mindfulness and the practice of it in our daily life can support our bodies, our actual physical bodies, and our minds. But how about our spirits? You know, here we are, and this precious community has been navigating a lot lately, emotionally, with the transition of Reverend Jennifer. And I will share with you that my best friend in this world I've known since I was 12 years old, her mom has just had a diagnosis that's terminal. And so I just noticed as I heard that news and as I've worked and been here with you in this experience, is that when someone we love transitions, when someone we love has a hardship, that when we are in the space of mindfulness, we can be very mindful of our process and be very gentle with our process of grieving, of whatever it might bring up for us. Anger, doubt, fear, worry. And so it's that opportunity for us in that present moment as we become aware of what we're feeling is to be, again, be so ever gentle with ourselves. To be gentle and conscious and to be able to see it for what it is. And the opportunity that we have is to also know the truth in those moments. You know, Jesus in his Sermon on the Mount said, "Why do you worry? Let today be for today. Don't think about tomorrow. Let today be about today." Because when we worry and we become fearful, when life is flowing and something we might not understand, what we're doing is we're jumping ahead into the future. That's what fear is all about. Fear is all about our worries of the future. And so Peter actually shared with me a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm going to read a little bit of it for you this morning. Thich Nhat Hanh, Buddhist monk, author, and teacher, such a beautiful light in this world that practices mindfulness meditation, said this: "Life is only available in the here and now. The past is already gone and the future is yet to come. There is only one moment for me to live, the present moment." But see, when we forget, he said this: "If we can return to the here and now, we will be able to touch the many wonders of life that are available. If we keep running away into the future or stay stuck in the past, we cannot be in touch with the many wonders of life. We cannot be in the present moment where there is healing, transformation, and joy." That's what's available in this moment. Healing, transformation, and joy. and the many wonders of life available to us right here in this moment with each breath. It's just that we must be willing to let go of our attachments of the past and allow ourselves to be available to what is right here and now. And this week I heard a sweet story about how when we're open to it and we're living in the present moment, how we can avail ourselves to the beauty that's right in front of us. There's an award-winning photographer and filmmaker named DeWitt Jones who took pictures for National Geographic for decades. And before he was even 30 years old, he won 2 Academy Awards. And he was sharing one night with an audience who had gathered to see his images. And he shared a story that I think really applies to this message this morning. He shared that his process of taking pictures was often one of allowing the unexpected and letting go of what he thought was going to unfold, and instead allowing what the moment would bring. He showed the audience some images he took at Yellowstone National Park and explained his process of that particular day. Apparently, he said he just wasn't finding that perfect shot, and he was starting to get frustrated. But he said, no, I'm just going to go with it. And so he just started taking pictures of everything around him. You know, rocks, the parking lot, shrubbery, everything, whatever was in front of him. And taking these pictures led him into the woods. So he just kept following that path and shooting pictures randomly. When all of a sudden the path opened up to this gorgeous vista in front of him. Right there before him was a mountain lake at dawn, surrounded by trees with autumn leaves. Mist was rising from the lake's surface, and 2 fishermen were sitting quietly in a boat with their rods cast in the water. And as the audience saw this picture, the room was filled with oohs and ahs as the beauty of the image filled their hearts and their minds and their eyes. And this image was used by a large corporation as their primary ad for years. See, this is what's available for us right here, right now, right in front of us. And if we're not in this present moment, we can miss such beauty and such wonder. Eckhart Tolle said this: as soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolves, and life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out of present moment awareness, whatever you do becomes imbued with a sense of quality, care, and love, even the most simple action, like washing the dishes, driving in traffic, washing your car, even the most simple thing. So this week, let's practice this. Are you with me? Let's practice present moment awareness consciously. And I don't know if you have a practice of meditating. If you don't, it's okay. But I recommend you start. Just 5 minutes. And maybe work your way up to 20 minutes if you can, but just start. And just notice, just find a quiet place. Or if you're sitting in traffic, just to notice your present moment experience. And I'll share that for me, what gets me there is just to start focusing on my breath, because I always have my breath. And just start to notice your thoughts, start to notice your feelings, start to notice your present moment experience in your body and all around you. And just notice if you want to judge it, and notice that, let that go. Become the observer. And begin to give yourself gentle acceptance of your present moment experience. Just keep at it. If you're resistant, just notice that. And just notice as you begin to practice this in your life, what your experience of life is. Notice if you're more peaceful. Notice that someone that might have triggered you or stirred you or made you want to lash out, all of a sudden, you're very zen. Notice that when you're in traffic and you need to get somewhere on time, that you can be in that experience in a more peaceful way. Folks, I know it just sounds so simple, but it is simple. The truth is simple. When we're in that present moment experience, we can align and center and know what is ours to do consciously. And we can move forward in clarity and confidence. Let's do this together this week. All right? Beautiful. Let's affirm together. Centered in this present moment, I let go and know all is well. And so it is.